change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I have today. Time gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known would have kept me from the one I had today.
Hello, this is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and yes, you know what we're doing. It's one street over. What's going on one street over from where you living? Right here in Robertson County. Well, I got my Sumter County friend in here with me today. And Lisa Forte is in the house. And as I was telling Lee Marie yesterday, I said it's just fun when the girls get together and talk about Jesus. You know, that's kind of like my favorite thing. I don't know about you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm waking up this morning too, so
I am too. And I mean, I've been up since 3:30. You'd think I'd be awake.
it's
by
time
now.
for a nap if
Yeah,
you've been
no.
up since 3:30.
No. Well, you know, and I was telling Lisa as we were kind of sitting here waiting to turn the microphones on. That was, during the school year, we, get up. That's one of the reasons why I'm just so dead set that I don't want to retire. Everybody's like, you're a retirement age, LaVern. It's like, well, I don't want to because I like having very set things to do. I like a schedule because in the summertime, I just don't get as much done. And I told my husband, I said, I think maybe we need to set the alarms and still get up when it's still dark out and walk, even in the summer, because and then if we want to, we can go back to bed, but I really enjoy that early morning walk in the dark. I hope we don't wake up our neighbors because we have our dogs with us, My husband has this really loud, we both have very loud, booming voices, but he just doesn't seem to know how to whisper at all.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be like, Zeke. And I'm like, shh, you're going to wake up the neighbors, but anyway, so what have you been up to this summer, sister?
Oh my goodness. Keeping up with kiddos a little bit, and I've had the opportunity to have more time at Women's Recovery Center. So that has more and more doors keep opening, and so it's been good.
And that's something you were telling me about. And this is the recovery center that's up in Madison, right?
No, it's actually in Nashville.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was in
Yeah,
Madison for some
no.
reason. And but you guys have been working with these ladies in the recovery center, and their children, and they've got the kids with them too, right?
No, they don't have kids with them.
See, I'm thinking about one that is in Madison, that is one that is equipped to have kids with their moms.
Well, so
I'm
this
thinking.
one is a little bit different because
Yeah.
these are women that are from any woman in the state of Tennessee who has a nonviolent felony serving jail time related to their addiction can apply to go into this program.
Okay.
And if they're accepted, it's like a voluntary program. So they have to go through interviews. They have to be accepted. So one of the drug court judges, who's no longer on the earth, started this nonprofit. And I'm still trying to figure out how all the pieces fit together. So it's drug court partnering with the state mental health bucket too.
Right.
So if the ladies get accepted, they come, and the program how long they're there is an average of 14 to 16 months. Just depends on how quickly they go through the phases and do the work that they need to do. But it's a little interesting in the sense of, yes, the community's gated, but if they decide to run, or if there's certain things that they don't adhere to from a rule perspective, then they'll go back to jail.
Right.
So it's interesting because we had a lady a couple weeks ago when I met her at church. She was just there for 4 days, and she was telling me she didn't know if she was going to stay. And
Wow.
because of the
rules,
hard work,
the hard work.
that they have.
Interesting, because the accountability, and I mean, it's something that all these programs have a level of accountability that's not easy. It's whenever I was working up at the church in Madison Church of Christ in our benevolence center, and we dealt with a lot of homeless people, and the housing issue always came up, and we have the rescue mission that's available, and well, I don't want to go there because of blah blah blah, and it's like, that's this is the circumstance you're in, and that's the options that are available.
Right.
And you have to make concessions. I'm on the recovery court board here in Robertson County, and we have recovery court graduations and have one in the fall and one in the spring. And it's a very strict, protocol that you have to follow to stay in that program. And if you don't, you could go back to jail.
Right.
Absolutely. And you certainly, I mean, this is an opportunity to, really get a fresh start. And it sounds like that's a program that you're working
and
with
when
too.
these ladies, when they finish the program there, they go back to their counties, and then they finish out that drug court, that recovery court that I guess maybe that you're a part of. So there's accountability when they go back,
right.
And then they do their transition housing, and they have to meet for drug court things. And yes, they will have that, final graduation there. So.
Well, very good. And I think it's cool that because I mean, you were doing the weekly ministry, and then it's like, we all have our seasons where God does this, and he's like, okay, do this now. Okay, we're going to stop this and we're going to do this. And you've moved on to this other, this other program.
Yeah.
And I love that you're able to navigate those waters and just look for God's prompting.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that's what
Yes,
it is?
for sure. Well, yeah, because we put that hold on Refresh, and we were already we were serving alongside We Are Church at the Recovery Center 2 times a month in addition to doing Refresh. And so when the Lord was like, pause here, and it was just, it's been beautiful. And the thing that we'll have to have more discussion about, I'm like, I need your help because I've gotten to the point, what's been beautiful in the journey has been, there was I was going to meet with the executive director towards the end of the year last year, like maybe we shared this story, but it was like October-ish, maybe the beginning of November. But the woman that had been leading kept telling me that on our side, kept telling me, I said, just let me go by myself if you don't mind, because I can play the, oh, I didn't know card where, if you're sitting next to me, I'm like, I can ask for forgiveness as I'm asking for permission if I color outside of the lines.
Yeah.
But before I went to the meeting, I asked, what was it? I think that there had been some kind of conversation in reference to one of the things that she had told me via text before our in-person meeting. I think that's what it was, because it's like, what immediate needs do you have for the ladies? And she said, well, we need winter coats. I'm like, okay. And so I'm going, okay, well, Lord, I don't know how we're going to do that, but okay. So in one of my clinics, the physician that I work with, I felt like the Holy Spirit, he is Seventh-day Adventist, and I felt like the Holy Spirit was like, ask him if his church does mission work. And I'm like, why would I ask him that? And it's just like, oh, the coats. Okay. And then I'm still going, that's just awkward though. The conversations you have in your mind with the Holy Spirit. It's like, yeah, no, I don't think that. And then I'm going, oh, well, this is how I think. It's like, well, even if his church doesn't, I'm sure, he may want to participate, but whatever. Okay. So I did ask him, I'm like, so does your church do mission work? And he was like, well, what do you mean by mission work? And so I told him about that. And he was like, well, we have the 403 Center. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. And so they do that thrift store that's probably not too far down. And he goes, let me talk to the lady that runs it, But anyway, so short version is they have tons of coats. Like they probably have at least half this building, if not more, just full of coats that get donated. And so a lot of them, they go through them and make sure that they're appropriate. And so she was like, yeah, we'll donate coats. So just get the sizes and y'all come pick them out.
Yeah.
So me and the doctor showed up after clinic one day and we went through the coats. I had gotten the sizes from the executive director. And so I show up to the meeting with coats, and something in that, which like we don't understand so much of what the Lord does. There was an unlocking. So where there was years of no, like this was a key that unlocked. And I keep laughing because and I've told the Lord, I'm like, you keep putting things on my heart for them, and I get to ask her what's on her heart. And I said, and through his favor and his favor alone, I'm not getting a no. But now I'm sitting here with all this stuff going, okay, Lord, I need some other churches and I need some other friends that can come alongside and help do this. Because like even we got to meet with her 2 weeks ago and just take lunch to the staff and love on them. And so back to okay, what is it? What do you need? What is it that you need immediately? And so there's some like little things that we can do, and like go in and build some shelving to help with storage. But like one of the things that she said, because their budget comes from the state, she was like, don't hear what I'm not saying. She was like, we have food. There's not a food shortage by any means. She was like, but I would just like the ladies to have like good meat and good fruits and vegetables. Like we have a little garden. They don't have a whole lot of space, but obviously the garden can't support 24 ladies. But even like what they're getting from the budget and able to bring in, she's like, I would just like, so I'm going, okay, Lord, how do we get good meat? How do we get, the beef and the chicken and all of the things, like how, and realizing, I think that's the beauty of the body of Christ, right? And that we all are the church. And so being able to, I don't know what the Lord's going to do. Like, I don't know if there's opportunities to speak at other churches to invite them in, but if they have a local missions, I mean, we want to do Christmas again for the ladies and raise money for that. She's allowed, like we can do. So this is the other thing I found out. This is, maybe you can help me, because there's things in my mind that I go, that just makes zero sense. And not that it has to make sense, but it's a hiccup, right? And so we have 3 ladies that are graduating, and I've been told that we can do graduation baskets. So like pens, journals, little knickknacks, some toiletries.
Some gift cards,
Well, the gift card's huge, because one of the things that the caseworker told me was that they can't apply for food stamps while they're there, even though they know the address of the transition home that they're going to.
Okay.
It has to do with an address thing, supposedly. But I'm just like, but they know. She goes, I know, but they could, but they don't leave here with secure food stamps when they go to their next. And she said, and so if the county that they're going back to, if their drug court doesn't
do something,
then they're at food pantries or trying to secure. And I'm going, oh my goodness. So it's like, oh, yay, we're celebrating. And then we're going, what? So there's a lot of things that, whenever when you're in the middle of listening to other people that care for women and the men like this on a daily basis, that you're like, there's so many places that this doesn't make sense. And it's really heartbreaking, because when you think about, okay, you've been set aside and you've had this little quiet timeout and you've done all this hard work, and now we're going to send you right back where you came from.
Which is sometimes the worst idea, because of the friendships and sometimes even families. That's that's one of the hardest things to break away from, is when you're trying to stay out of an addiction issue and you go right back into the place where it was seated, and it's difficult. And you go in, if you've had any kind of jail time, you can't rent an apartment. trying to find housing and all the things. So yeah, I mean, it is such a struggle when you're really trying to. That's why the recidivism, when it comes to imprisonment, is so difficult to get beyond because
Right.
they do the hard work and then they get on the other side and they feel like, well, what's the point?
Now the work's even harder,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
like we've taken the training wheels off. We've taken the
Hmm.
security, the security zone away a little bit, and now it's like, okay, sink or swim, and it's like,
No, I mean, it is a hard question.
yeah,
And then you have so many people, it's like, well, if you're not going to work, you did. And some of them, they're wanting to work. They want to
right,
work, but they can't find a place to live. They can't find a decent amount of income. This, my husband and I, we were talking this morning, just like, I see people spending money like drunken sailors. And I'm like, where are you getting this money to spend? Because I know how much gas costs.
right,
How are you providing? I just wonder if, sometimes. And then when you have somebody that's in a situation where they're trying to put their life back together after making mistakes, we see it all the time in Celebrate
yeah.
Recovery. Just so many struggles. And
Well, even
it's a tough journey. It's
it
a tough
is,
journey. And all you can do, it's kind of like the little boy, saving the starfish and the man coming along and there's thousands of starfish on the shores and he's throwing them in one at a time. Well, what are you doing? You can't save all these, but I saved that one and that one
yeah,
and that one. You just do one at a time and where the Lord leads you, you
yeah,
know. And with what she's saying, if you're a church and you're looking for a project, you're looking for some people to partner with. I mean, there's so many
yes,
people out there who want to help. And at
yes,
Christmas time, they're all like, where can I, donate? Reach out to Lisa
yeah,
and message her on social media. You can find her. She's one of my friends. And you can message me and I'll put you in touch with her. And she can help
yes,
you find a place to plug in and do some really good things for some ladies that are trying really, really hard
right,
to make a difference in their
absolutely,
life and to do it differently. And would that be a fair thing to say? And you said they're in the Nashville area,
yes.
like what vicinity? North Nashville,
Like,
East, or
not too far from Trevecca.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like in that vicinity. Okay,
Mhm.
so kind of on the west side
Yeah.
then. Isn't
I guess.
Trevecca kind of west?
I don't.
I'm thinking.
Don't make me put a compass
Okay,
down. I'm like,
yeah. I
well,
think
no. I would say. I mean, if I'm doing interstate, like it's
I may
out
be
like 40,
mistaken.
40 east. Like it's off Fesslers.
Oh,
Trevecca's
okay.
off Fesslers.
Is it? Well, it's like right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Yeah, that's
but
probably East Nashville
ish. Yeah.
ish,
Ish.
maybe.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know
I would
what
think.
they're redrawing those
Oh, I
territory
know.
boundaries on. Like,
It's so
but
weird
yeah.
because Nashville's definitely not the Nashville that I knew anymore.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. But we're going to pause and we're going to do one of our ads here and talk about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with X Prime Realty. If you missed Monday's show, I cannot say enough. Go back and listen to it. You're going to get a kick out of them. They're so much
Mhm.
fun to hang out with and talk to. We talked about all the historical properties that they have. They have their listing at homesofyesterday.com, homesofyesterday.com. They've got a property between here and Orlinda that's got a cave. If you heard the conversation, the spelunkers or the cave people say it's not actually classified. It's not big enough to be called a cave, but it looked like a cave to me, and it's pretty cool. And they also have a property that is one of the original Rosenwald schools in Cottontown, a historic property. Those are the African American schools that were built back in the 40s. And it's just a really real cool piece of property. They've got a house here in the historic district in right here in Springfield at 703 Fifth Avenue West. There's an we're talking about East Nashville. There's an East Nashville home that was a historic home that you can go and check out. So if it's something that you're wanting as far as a historic home or a historic property, you need to reach out to them. They seem to come up with an awful lot of them. Rebecca, one of her specialties, of course, we talked a lot with her about when is it time to downsize? If you're planning on downsizing, a lot of people, I'm not really planning on downsizing. I'm planning on staying on my place. But a lot of people are like, okay, I don't need this house anymore. It's a little more house land. I don't want to mow so much grass. I want to do something different. And that's not something you need to wait until you're ready. You need to really be planning ahead. If you think that's in your future, you need to have those conversations with your kiddos. And she is the one that has been specifically trained as a senior real estate specialist. She's one of the first in the area to do so, and she can help you specifically with that. We also talked about if you know somebody that's dealing with a foreclosure threat. Have you ever thought about talking to a realtor if that's coming up in your life? Because you might be able to put your home on the market, get a little equity out of it, and avoid that foreclosure on your credit report and put yourself in a better situation. There's all kinds of things that you need to be thinking about in the real estate market, whether you're buying or selling, or maybe you want to be a realtor. They would love to mentor you and bring you into the Exit Prime Realty family. You can connect with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or by BUYRobertsonCounty.com, or you can give them a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or 7424, and let them know you turned sent you. Talking with Lisa Forte. She is working on a project with a recovery house for women, and it's a very noble project. And if you want to help, you can reach out to her. And do you want just tell them to contact you on social media? Do you have any phone numbers you want to give out if they want to be a part of this? Or would you say, because I mean, they can reach out social media and message you, or
yes, message me or
an
message
email.
through Redeem.
Yeah.
My email with Redeem would be a great one. So
you want to give that?
Yeah. Lisa, Lisa at redeemher, HER now.org.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we would love, we need lots of help.
Yeah.
And it can be anywhere from like just monetary support to, who are the connections. We want to start a prayer team, for people that aren't able to be on site to volunteer. One of the things that the ladies had told us that's another need is a simple cookbook, like something that is low cost, high nutrition, basic, simple recipes, because a lot of these ladies haven't had to cook. So as they're getting ready to go to their transition homes, they're like, oh my gosh. So yes, they do their own cooking there on site, but it's a little bit different whenever you're cooking in a group and you have somebody that does have that experience versus, oh, it's on me to shop and it's on me to cook it and just all the things.
And I mean, you're talking about 24 women that you have to feed 3 meals a day. Wow. That's a lot. And, and I know you were talking about the quality of food that they get. There's a lot of things you can get through we used to be cheese when I was a kid, I guess, people that they would have. That would get old after a while, I would imagine. And I mean, I've seen the stuff that comes in. They'll do like canned meat that's just, it's not.
Or even a lot of the stuff is in the freezer. So it's like it's still processed. A lot of the stuff is processed.
Yeah.
So,
and some of it's, I mean, they get some really good stuff too, but there's an awful lot of, like you said, processed food that's low cost food and not necessarily super nutritious food, real food. When you think about real food, food that you
or that you've personally canned and that you've grown and put up.
So it makes a difference. But so if you can help in any way, give that email again.
Yes, Lisa at redeemhernow.org.
Okay. And Lisa also brought this book that I want to talk to her about. So I'm assuming that that's why you brought that. It's because you want to tell us about that book.
Well, I was hoping that you'd get
I got it, but I just got it. Yes, I think you sent it to me Wednesday, and this first week of school. I haven't had a chance to even look at it.
Was your homework,
I was a little bit late coming in this morning because I was trying to set up my Teams pages on school stuff. I was working on school stuff all morning. We're still trying to get all of our classes set up and all that kind of thing, and until technology is amazing and it's wonderful, but my program is so technology heavy. It is my best friend and my worst enemy, because if it's not working, it's everything that we want to do is involved with technology. And so I'm still working on that, so I haven't had a chance to. I mean,
No,
I've kind of
good.
looked at the title and and I haven't really had a chance to look into it, even the content. So tell me what this book is about. I like the title.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, so it was sent to me by a friend. My friend actually knows the author, and the author, I don't know a whole lot about her history other than she is Jewish and she believes that Jesus is the Messiah. So there's
She's messianic. Yeah.
and so that she and her dad may have been a rabbi. So there's
Okay.
and of course with Jewish heritage, like the Torah, there's so much of that as we're
Yes.
learning, there's such a depth to it.
And I love all that.
Yes. Well, and this is
That's
what
a great study.
I just feel like there's it's just written very simplistically, but I'm still going fireworks in my brain. I think, and I'll read a little bit of it because I can't like do a synopsis and give it justice. But this is where she kind of opens up where they've left Egypt. Right? So Israel
And the title is From Sinai to
the Jordan.
And so that right there catches my attention because I'm like, ooh,
right.
So From Sinai to the Jordan, and then go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm starting a few pages in, but now how do you pronounce that? Shavat? Is that how you say it? Shavat?
Shabbat.
SHAVUOT.
Shabbat. I was Shabbat or Shavat, I guess.
Okay.
I always thought it was B, Shabbat. But maybe it is Shavat.
I don't know. Well, I don't know.
A lot of the Southerners I hear say Shabbat. Shabbat.
Right?
Shabbat. That's a good one. Okay, I'll have to look that up.
So that's even like connected to
Pentecost, we're talking about Sabbath. We're talking about the Sabbath and the day of rest is what we're talking about.
Well, this one actually was talking about, this is how she's connected this to Sinai.
Okay.
And what was the... So Shavat, okay, maybe I should start that.
Well, and we're talking about, and if you go online, you can find this online. It's From Sinai to the Jordan, and it's by Yael. Oh my word, I like her.
Eckstein.
Yeah. But I think that's her name. Yeah.
Yeah, she has a couple of other books, and you can follow her letters, Yael's letters on Facebook because she's doing a deeper dive.
Okay.
Tent peg something. I don't know.
But anyway, Yael is the one who drove the tent peg into.
Yes.
But Nora, is that? I thought it started with JL.
Yeah.
JL. So that's the J. It's not Yael. It's JL. I guess. I wish I spoke Hebrew, right? But anyway, she is the one who drove the tent peg into the. What was his name that she killed?
Oh,
yeah, I'm going blank. But anyway, guys, this is a good study. So let's go.
So this starts with Pentecost is actually Shabbat, however you say that. And Shabbat was already holy long before Acts 2. So jumping down, Shabbat rehearsed covenant, revelation, and spirit empowerment. Sinai and Acts 2 are deliberately connected, and the parallels are overwhelming.
Thought I had that off.
At Sinai, the mountain trembles. In Acts 2, the house trembles. At Sinai, the fire descends. In Acts 2, fire appears. At Sinai, Yahweh speaks his covenant. In Acts 2, the Spirit empowers proclamation. At Sinai, the people stand before divine presence. In Acts 2, divine presence fills the people themselves. And this is where the story becomes breathtaking because Shabbat was never merely about agricultural harvest. It was about covenant, the giving of Torah, the revealing of the ways of the kingdom, the bridegroom establishing his household over his people. Acts 2 is not replacing Sinai, it is Sinai expanding outward. The same covenant story continuing, the same fire moving from the mountain into the people. And that changes everything because one of the most devastating lies modern Christianity swallowed is that the idea that Torah and Spirit are enemies. Yet Scripture says the opposite. The prophets longed for the day when the Spirit would empower obedience instead of merely confronting disobedience. Let's see.
And I'll tell you, it's while you were Shabbat, and I got to thinking about it, and I thought Shabbat is actually a holiday, and Shabbat is the weekly day of rest. So there are two different things. So Shabbat or Shavuot, I think it may even be Shavuot. Yeah.
Okay.
Shavuot, something like that's how you say that. And that is the holiday after Passover that celebrates God giving the Torah on Sinai. So I bet that's where that's coming.
That's it.
And so I think it's Shavuot is how you say it, but Shabbat is Sabbath.
The Sabbath.
So,
okay, yeah.
So we were getting the words.
We were trying to make two the same one.
Yeah. So, but anyway, just for clarification.
So this is the part that, like, and as I'm reading this, and I've skipped ahead a couple pages. Like I said, everything is just. So this is talking about. So Shavuot was a wedding. The mountain burned. The covenant was spoken. The bridegroom descended in fire. Israel vowed faithfulness, and then the wilderness began. Not because Yahweh abandoned his people, but because redemption was never the end of the story. Egypt had been removed from around Israel. Now Yahweh would expose Egypt still living inside Israel. The wilderness between Sinai and the Jordan became one of the most devastating revelations of the human heart in all of Scripture. Idolatry, fear, complaining, lust, rebellion, compromise, jealousy, unbelief. An entire redeemed generation would die outside the inheritance because freedom from Pharaoh did not automatically produce faithfulness to Yahweh. The wilderness exposes a terrifying truth. People can witness miracles, eat bread from heaven, stand beneath the glory of Yahweh, be betrothed to the creator of the universe, and still crave idols. This next series will walk through the wilderness journey after Sinai, from the golden calf to the spies to Korah's rebellion to Balaam to the Jordan crossing itself, because the wilderness is where covenant gets tested even more and where hearts are truly revealed. So here we go. The bride cheated before the honeymoon was over. Shavuot was a wedding betrothal. We looked at that yesterday. Not metaphorically in some vague devotional sense, but covenantally, legally, and prophetically. We, his people, said yes. A mountain wrapped in fire, a people washed and consecrated, a boundary around the mountain like sacred separation, a covenant meal in Exodus 24, blood sprinkled on the people, vow spoken aloud. All that Yahweh has spoken we will do, Exodus 19:8. This was not casual spirituality, it was marriage language. Yahweh had just destroyed Egypt to bring his bride to himself. Think about the violence of redemption it took to rescue her. The Nile turned to blood, the gods of Egypt publicly humiliated, darkness swallowing the empire, the firstborn struck, lamb's blood on doorpost, a sea split open, Pharaoh drowned beneath collapsing waters. This was not merely rescue, this was separation, a bridegroom tearing his people out of another kingdom, and he brings them to Sinai, not first to war, not first to conquest, not first to inheritance, first to covenant. Inheritance without covenant produces corruption, and Sinai was never Meno law given before Jesus came. Sinai was intimacy. The commandments were not random restrictions thrown on to liberated people to ruin their freedom. They were covenant terms, wedding vows.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, what? It still gives me the chills. It's like, how many times have we been taught, either to like
rules.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's rules. It's, it doesn't make, but I mean, whenever you think about, because that presents God in such a fearful control, like he destroyed this and now it looks like he's wanting to destroy the Israelites in the wilderness. But whenever we start thinking about that being wedding vows, and one of the things that that she brings out that still is another, like, how many times do we do? There's so many parallels to where we are today. Um, but it's like Moses was delayed, and so they talk Aaron into building the golden calf, and so there's two things going on there. They think that there's a war. There's enough crazy worship at the golden calf that they think that there may be an attack or a war in the camp, but then they come down to find that they're worshiping. So how did they make the golden calf? From the blessings of the gold that was given to them when they left. So we take the blessings, we make an idol, but one of the and she puts in there, it's like that's like the bride having an affair while the reception's still going on.
Oh yeah.
That there wasn't that much time, and here was something they could see, they could control, but and this is the part I think even more so for today, it's like they're still slapping Yahweh's name on it. So they've taken this calf and they've made this idol, but they're still saying that this is, and so we've mixed, we've taken that mixture. So it's kind of like, okay, Lord, when we go to worship, like, are we mixing? How are we mixing? Is this, because he says that, like, we're not to worship him like that. We're not supposed to worship him like we've worshiped idols. And so, and I say this in that self-reflection, like, have I worshiped you the way that you want me to worship you? How are you wanting, instead of, anyway, there's just like, it's almost like page after page. There's just a lot of like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Jesus, sorry. Like, oh, wow. So there is a lot of depth but also a different perspective of his crazy, amazing love for us. And even like she goes into whenever the instructions for building the tabernacle, and she was like, I know people think, oh, I roll, but she was like, there's so much significance in the details of the tabernacle and the priestly garments to Eden and in Revelation, and like we're seeing heaven, like all of these things that are just unwrapped and unpacked. And I guess it's just such a simple read of, it's like,
There's so much, and it's like so many things that she said, and you were just talking about how that a lot of the things that we see inside that were described in the tabernacle are echoes of Eden. It's supposed to be like a garden. It's like you're coming back to the garden kind of thing. And it's the same thing with pagan temples too. They made it look like this was, you're coming into a garden and the kind of thing. And that's, was a standard thing that they knew. And one of the lines in there where it was talking about how when he brought them out of Egypt, how he humiliated the gods. This is something, until I started these deep studies, I didn't realize that every single one of the plagues were directly pointed at one of the gods that they worshiped.
yeah.
Every single one of them. And it's just absolutely fascinating. And then, like you said, and I don't know when I first started studying what happened on Mount Sinai as a wedding. But I've always, I can remember being younger, and it's like, we're the bride of Christ. I don't really understand that. But then when you understand that first marriage, that first covenant, then you go, oh, I get it now. And it's fascinating. The more you study, the more you're just like, this is just so deep and wide and wonderful, and just get into it, guys. And this is a great book. I mean, you can just tell just from the little excerpt that you read. And you can find it on Amazon. It is, again, it's called From Sinai to Jordan, and to the Jordan. And it's by Yael's Letters. And so, I mean, I'm excited to get into it. So
Yeah, no,
very
it's
much
just
so.
beautiful.
It is
And
very
there's
cool.
just
I got to do a
yeah, go ahead.
break. I got to do a
Oh,
break.
it
I'm
is.
sorry. I was
No,
trying
no, you're
trying to
good.
kind of let me get to a place here. We need to talk about the UPS store, guys. We have. I was messaging Deborah about what the update is, and what's really cool is we're coming up on Main Street Media's annual. Where you nominate your favorite businesses, favorite restaurants, different things like that. And so our UPS store has been nominated for business and printer favorite by the Main Street Media, and we need you to get out and vote. So they've got flyers. They're in the store. You can go grab. It's got a QR code on it, so you can hit that and you can vote for them to make sure that they win, because we want that, because they're awesome. They've also got some great specials in there. A flyer that you can pick up for 250 business cards, and you can get 200. You get buy 250, get 250 free. They've also got the little survey you can fill out to qualify for a Amazon gift card. All kinds of fun stuff happening. It is the everything store. It's our UPS store. Anything that you need to mail, come and talk to them. All kinds of great things to have printed. It is just a fun store. Because when you go in there, they're so friendly and they're so kind and so helpful. They're all notaries. That's something I'm going to mention every time I do an ad, because it was such a hassle whenever we were taking care of my parents' estate after my mom passed, to try to go get things notarized. My brother said, hey, I've got something, I'm going to send you. I'm going to send it to you in an email, and you got to go get it notarized. It's like, well, where do I go? Well, because of the UPS store, everybody being a notary, that's all I had to do. And it was super simple and no more hassle. And I can remember it being a hassle so many times when I have to get things notarized beforehand. It's not anymore. You can go right into the UPS store, and I've seen some really unusual things shipped when I've been in there. And they've also got that self-serve kiosk where you can go and return all your Amazon stuff, and you can get in and out so quickly. It is so convenient. Tom said when he first set that up, he's like, I don't know if I want to do that, because I like customer service. I like talking to my customers. But then when he saw people having to stand in line, he's like, for some of my customers, maybe they wouldn't want that self-serve kiosk. And so he, went ahead and put that in, and it works so simply and so efficiently. Go and see them today, not just to drop off your Amazon packages, but to get some printing done. Maybe get a mailbox. So you don't have to worry about porch pirates. And they've got hours for everyone. They open at 8 a.m. this morning, Monday through Friday. They're open 8 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. Saturday from 9 to 3, and then on Sunday they're open from 10 to 3. Our UPS store, 513 Memorial Boulevard, right here in Springfield. And when you get by there, let them know U-Turn sent you. Lisa Forte is in the house. And I said, it's always so fun whenever the girls get to just sit down and talk about Jesus. And that's what we've been doing. And talking about the recovery home where Jesus leads you to do the work and be the hands and feet of Christ, because that's what we're called to do. And that's where he's calling you right now, but y'all need help. So.
Yes.
Absolutely. Give that email out again for me a couple of times so people know it, in case they want to jump in, because people are always looking for something to do like that. So give that an email again.
Lisa at redeemhernow.org.
One more time.
Lisa at redeemher, now.org.
Okay. And if you have something you want to share with us that you want us to look into, we would love to. I mean, if you've got some tips for trying to get some fresh produce for these folks, and some better quality food items for them, even though it is something that the federal government helps fund, sometimes the choices aren't awesome. So that's a good thing. So
I think they still have to shop. My understanding is they're doing a lot of their shopping, but just again,
very limited.
My understanding, you get X amount of dollars, go buy it, and they're looking at receipts and kind of doing line by line, and so it's not. It's
so
not.
Very good. And if you're, there's a lot of gardeners out there. They're like, oh, I've just got this abundance of stuff right now. Well, then. Here's a place that you can share it. I mean, how many people do we know? I've got tomatoes running out of ears, and that's kind of where we are right now, with people having just the abundance of the gardens and all those kinds of things.
We've had so much rain that's been so good.
Yes, it has been.
I miss my canned tomatoes, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So what else have you got on your mind today, Lisa?
Oh, I don't know. I think just going back to, because I've asked the Lord, and just because of the opportunity, like we're getting to drive them one Sunday a month now. Now we have the opportunity to drive them to church every Sunday, but then we're still doing church on campus Sunday night.
Yeah.
And then we're doing Bible study on on Saturdays. One that you all need to check out is it's called He Calls Me Daughter. So good. It's a documentary that you watch, and then they have on their website a free download to do like a 6-week study afterwards.
Is that the one that's on Angel?
Maybe. I don't know if it's on Angel. I have the DVD and did the digital so I could let them.
Is Shonda Pierce on it?
Yes.
Okay, I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's very good.
Yeah.
It's
But
very
now
good
that-
because it's the lady from In-N-Out Burger.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
It is really good. And I think it's talking a lot about their relationships with their earthly fathers
And
versus
how we wind up,
yeah. And
attributing those to.
isn't that what it's about?
Mhm.
I'm thinking because I saw it and it is on Angel. And that is really good. I didn't know there was a Bible study. with
Yes,
it.
and so it's on their website, and
okay.
the resource is free, so you can do it's set up to do a 6-week. So we did we watched the DVD together last Saturday. So this week starts our week 1, and it just really the study that goes along with it just asks helps to connect the dots on some of those wounded places,
Yeah.
and helps just kind of work through some of that. Just another layer of healing, right?
Well, see, and that's so much of what we do at Celebrate Recovery because it's through the step studies and peeling back the layers of why you're where you are, and because there's always something in the layers. It's always in the layers,
Right.
and that's one of the things we talk about in Celebrate Recovery is everybody needs a level of recovery because I mean, whether or not you're dealing with alcohol or any other chemical addiction, every one of us have things we need to work on because none of us lived perfect lives. And those things, it's like, and I've probably said this to you before, and I know I've said it on the air because I say it all the time. But when I started understanding the scripture where, we would always say, confess your sins to each other so we may pray and so we can pray for each other and we can all be healed. That was used as such a pulpit pounding, you better come up here and confess what you did
Mhm.
kind of thing, come to the altar and confess what you did is the way I always perceived it when I was younger. And then when I started understanding confess your sins, and Christy McClellan is the first person I heard this from, but she said sin is not necessarily what we've done, but sin is anything that robs us of the shalom that God wanted for us.
Right.
And so sin is anything that a lot of the times it is things we've done. Sometimes it's just life.
Right.
Maybe sin is the thing that has robbed you of your peace is you've been sick, or maybe it's something that was done to you in your childhood or something that didn't happen right with your parents or a good friend or somebody like that. And it's anything. And it's like when I started changing the way I understood that, it just really changes everything because when we come together and celebrate recovery, testimonies are huge. So this thing you're talking about, he calls me daughter, it's a testimony.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people can look and go, oh, you too, you're dealing with that. Okay, I'm not alone. And so they don't feel so isolated when they see. And I think it's wonderful you've got these people who are notable people that are like, hey, this has been my walk.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's such an important thing. But I mean, I love that that's out there. And I think that's a great study because a lot of people who are in those situations, it's a parental,
Mm-hmm.
thing that maybe just didn't go quite right. And they didn't handle it quite right. That started them
Right.
down the wrong path. So that's really good. I bet that study will be excellent. So next month when you come in, you'll have to tell me how, because how long is the study?
6 weeks.
So you'll be
Yeah.
toward the end of it by
Yes.
the time you come back next month. I'm assuming you're coming back first Friday of
Yeah. September.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? I
I
know.
know,
Isn't that
it's
nuts?
crazy.
That's incredible.
It
The way
is.
the year has gone so fast. I mean, now I'll just kind of warn everybody. I might not be here because I've got a granddaughter due
Mm,
the first week of September.
okay.
And I'm going to be headed that way because I've got to go watch my 2-year-old grandson, almost 3-year-old grandson, because they don't have, I mean, they've got their church there and they can handle him for a minute, but
Right.
we need a grandparent down there. And her mom lives on the other side of Kansas City.
Gotcha.
She lives like near Wichita. And so it's going to take her a minute to get here. So I'm going to go for a couple of days and then she's going to come down for like a week later for a little bit. So I'm going to be hitting the road to go and help when my granddaughter arrives. So I don't know when, I feel like I'll still be here. I don't know.
We'll
I
see.
don't, we'll see, but
We
it
might be
depends.
the first Friday in October. Who knows?
That's just it. But it depends on when my granddaughter decides to arrive. We don't know her name yet, but we will soon, I'm sure.
Nice.
But so that's going to be fun.
So, I know we don't have a
I
whole
got to
lot.
do one more break too, but
Oh.
you may do my break and then we'll get to that. How
Well,
about?
you had to. We need to hear about your missions trip.
Oh, okay.
I know you
You
can't do
haven't
that
heard
in,
about
like,
it. Well, I've
nine-
talked about it on the air,
Oh.
but I'll fill you in here in just a second. I'll tell you what, let me do my break. Let's talk about Chris Armtrout and the folks over at Valor Mortgage because, we talk about, like I've said this so many times, but I loved whenever Valor Mortgage came on because it's like the complete piece. We talk about all the things you do, whether you're buying or selling, and all the things you need in the real estate market. But before you even think about looking at homes, first thing you need to do is see how much you qualify for. And you do that by reaching out to a lender. Too many of us reach out to lenders that turn us into a number, which turns into spam and just absolute harassment on these stupid little phones that we carry around with us. And I'm telling the truth. Well, Valor Mortgage is Chris Armtrout and the experienced loan officers right here. They're your neighbors. They have an office just 2 doors down from our new Capitol Theater. And they would love to have you come in and see them. He will tell you, get an appointment first because they do a lot of in-home appointments. They'll meet you somewhere. So to catch them in the office, you really have got to make an appointment. That number is 615-671-9178, 615-671-9178, or you can go to valor.mortgage, get pre-approved today. Find out how much home you can afford to invest in, or maybe it's an investment opportunity that you're looking at. They have VA loans, FHA loans, conventional and jumbo financing, all the tools you need to get you to the closing table. Maybe you want a refinance. Whatever it is that you're wanting to do, they can help you, and they're going to be there to make sure you don't get in over your head too, because that happens with a lot of folks. If you want to know more, reach out to them today. They're not just in the business of mortgages, they're in the business of making home ownership, property ownership possible for everyone. Give them a call. 615-671-9178, 615-671-9178, or go to valor.mortgage, valor.mortgage, get pre-approved today because when it matters most, you deserve a lender you can trust. Buy with confidence, buy with Valor. Valor Mortgage, NMLS number 1210804, DBA of Encore Lending Group, NMLS number 1249911, equal housing lender, subject to credit approval, rates and terms subject to change without notice, not a commitment to lend. Let them know U-Turn sent you. All right, back to Lisa Forte. And you were asking me about the mission trip. It was awesome. We took 2 weeks to go and do a road trip to Mexico. On the way down, we took a week to get to San Diego, and it was just beautiful. We went to the Grand Canyon. I stood on the corner in Winslow, Arizona,
Mm.
and we saw this big giant crater. I didn't know there was a crater from this asteroid strike that is just past Winslow, and it's fascinating. It's just huge. It's massive, and it's just intriguing. And then we went to Sedona. I had never been to Sedona. It's absolutely gorgeous, but the mission trip itself, it's just phenomenal. We love the folks down there so much. It's just neat. And I took a keyboard. I was telling you, I'm taking piano from Rachel. Since we were in the van, I just started taking piano lessons. So I bought a cheap keyboard. I bought a keyboard for like $30 on Marketplace. I'd have it with me so I didn't want to go 2 weeks without playing. So when we get down there, I'm just going to give it to somebody in Mexico. And a friend of mine suggested that I give it to the minister he is going to be the director at the City of Children, which is the orphanage in Ensenada. and his wife plays music. I was like, yeah, I'll give it to Freddie. So I got it out the last night we were going to be there and got it out of the van to hand off to Freddie. And one of the son of our new preacher that's going to be in El Rosario, David, he just clamped onto it and he's wanting a keyboard now. And so he was telling him, because he doesn't speak any English, he was telling one of the my friends from the Hispanic church that went with us. She says, you've got David wanting a keyboard. And I'm like, I'm going to have to, that's going to be my carry-on next year. When I go to the mission trip, I'm going to have to carry this child a keyboard because you can't find them down there, but I was showing him some chords and stuff and he just took to it so quick. It was just really cool. But that was probably one of my favorite things was sitting down and playing the keyboard with some of the Hispanic kids down there, some of the kids. It was just fun. We just had a great time.
That's awesome.
Put glasses on, folks. I get to do that. That's just such a blessing. But yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. But I miss seeing, it's hard being gone 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a little bit long. I think 10 days is the sweet spot. When you start doing 14 days away.
So listen to this. You
tough.
talk about crazy.
Yeah.
And I'll throw a little thing out there for her too, because I just love her. And we found something it's all a Jesus thing. But her name is Savannah Deanne. She's a photographer. She's only 30. She doesn't look like she's 30. But anyway, two things for Savannah Deanne is that she still has some openings for senior photography. And so we got introduced to her because, there was a young lady that had bought a package and Tyler went to prom with her a couple years ago. And that was part of her package is the prom pictures.
Right.
And so her interaction with the two of them was fun and uplifting. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to book her for Tyler. So we did Tyler's senior pictures with her 2 years ago. And then I rebooked with her with Sawyer. And again, just mainly because of her personality. Like I didn't know if she knows Jesus, all the things, but so we did Sawyer's senior pictures 2 weeks ago. And I don't know, it's all running together. But anyway, we did it. Yeah. And so when she was talking, she said something about having just gotten back. And I'm like, oh, where'd you get back from? She's like, well, Mongolia. And I'm like, well, what were you doing?
What?
So listen, she had spent 3 months in Mongolia.
Wow.
So the Lord captured her heart as a youth in youth group. And she got introduced to YWAM.
Yes.
And
very familiar.
Yeah. So she went through some of their program training. And anyway, so fast forward through a lot of crazy, amazing stories. She had gotten to go to Mongolia and then she felt like she was supposed to go back for a little bit longer. So that was her 3 month.
That's cool.
And so she's telling us the other evening, she was like, I'm supposed to move there. Girl, this woman is so on fire for Jesus and loves him and has a heart for the next generation. So what she's trying to do is raise money. She needs $4,500 to do that YWAM mission school that starts in September. And then the soonest that she would be able to get to Mongolia would be February. So she needs her mission school and she's going to be needing sponsors.
Wow.
But to be 30 years old and getting ready to leave your parents and your sister, and because I love Jesus and this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, I'm just looking at her like, but sitting next to her, even without talking that part, like she is so in love with him. Like it just oozes out of her. Like it oozes. So get your pictures done by Savannah.
And I just looked her up and she pops right up. So
she
Savannah
does.
Diane, go and
go get some pictures. Yeah. Support this young lady on her. Deanne.
Deanne?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe I've got the wrong one. Savannah Diane photos? Is that it? Savannah Diane right here.
Oh gosh.
Anyway.
Even with my readers on.
So I don't know if that's Savannah. We'll find the right one. We'll find the right one and I'll put it in comments and stand by because we've got another full hour of local programming with Lee Marie and Pat Samler are going to be coming in here. All the stuff that she does with homeopathic treatment for when, things Lee Marie was talking about. I never get headaches, but she got a headache and she treated it naturally thanks to Pat. And she also helped. Oh, that's great. And so she also helped me whenever Mark got stung by wasp. And, he had a really bad time with a bunch of wasps. But so we're going to give this a plug for this sweet girl again, Savannah Deanne Photography. Sienna Deanne Photography. Get with her, get some pictures made, and help her get to Mongolia. Wow.
I know.
For
Isn't that
Jesus, isn't that
crazy?
fun? Isn't it fun when you're not really sure where people are in their faith and then you find out they're that on fire? Wow.
It is amazing.
Man, that's cool. Anyway, but she does an excellent job with these pictures too. They're
Yes.
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So that's it for me right now. Lee Marie's going to make her way in here for another full hour of local programming with The Go Show with Lee Marie. So I hope you'll stick around. Thank you, Lisa. And
Thank
as
you.
long as my baby girl doesn't get here, I'll see you next month. And
Yes,
we'll have
ma'am.
another hour with Lisa on Faith Friday. And I hope you guys will be here with us on Monday. I think that this will be Bill's. It'll be the second Monday of the month. So it'll be Bill Jones's turn to come in here and talk to us about history of Robertson County. So it'll be a History Monday with Bill Jones on Monday. I hope you'll be here and be a part of that. Thank you for joining us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless you. Stay tuned for Lee Marie and a special hour of The Go Show coming up next.